Okay, so I feel like that's probably good. You know, it wouldn't hurt though, throwing on a Sub-Zero, which is a dangerous game since this is supposed to be a very low poly model. But whatever, it can't hurt that much, right? Oh yeah, that looks horrible. Yeah, nope. Staying with the straight lines. Ooh, have to unwrap it. Nope, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So, export wavefront. Export. Okay, go back into Unity. Assets, 1. There it is. Right there. Okay. And then I'll just make some random box. And that'll be the computer. Hey, Miguel! Thanks for joining. Yeah, 3D modeling is insane. Like, if you've ever played around with Blender, it's ridiculous. You just have to learn so much. Like, everything is done using hotkeys, and oh man. I think Blender wins the award for having the world's most complicated user interface. It's kind of ridiculous. What do we need now? I guess some books. Books would be nice. So jump back into Blender. And, for now, I'm going to be lazy and not worry about the texture work, even though it probably should be. But yeah, so I'm just going to take the easy way out. I'm going to do it super simple right now and just worry about texturing and the detail paths later. This is supposed to be just a level prototype. We're just trying to get the game mechanics basically in at this point. So, join. Let's join. There we go. Join. Front. Books. Oh, not in all caps. Books. Exports. Jump back into Unity. Where would they be? Books. Scale down just a tad, and I'm going to just steal some of the papers from upstairs and use those because I think that'll be the simplest way of doing it. Okay, so I have these papers up here, which is literally just English homework and physics homework from like forever ago. Yeah, and I'm just gonna copy those and move them down here. I have set the resolution on these pages so low that you can't even read the words on. Well, I think you can read the words on one of them, but like this one, you just can't. So it doesn't break the illusion, even if you try to read it. It doesn't say anything. you need to do after this is rigid body all of these and make it so you can like play around with them if you walk on the table or something stupid like that. I think that's good enough. Okay, so this is the first educational game that doesn't suck. I'm trying to teach math in a way that hides that you're learning math, because all current educational games are literally just a game with math strapped to it, and that's so lazy and it makes it super boring. What I'm doing here is I'm kind of designing a game around math to make it so that you don't even know that you're doing it while you're playing. Like, my whole goal for this is that people play the game and they're like, where's the math? You know, and then they, you know, go and get a math worksheet from their teacher or something, and they're like, oh, this is really easy now. You know, like, kind of like Portal, with the physics, it kind of preps you for the physics class, like, you kind of generally know how inertia and stuff like that works. That's what I'm aiming for this game to be. Yeah. And I've got quite a lot of work done so far. I will, since there are a couple new people since the last time I showed it off, I will show off the progress I have so far. So, this is the room you start off in. This is kind of the base room where I like show off some of the lighting effects that I'm doing. I have some really nice, I'm using these lights as projectors, so I'm like projecting a little nice grid pattern, caustics over here, and some shadows too. You come in here, and I'm basically doing a lot of shadow work in this room. So if you see, everything is casting a shadow in every direction because there's lights, like, literally in every direction. And I have a bunch of just random objects in here that I kind of just threw in to make it look more full. And I have nice looking hallways with those awesome reflections. I just love the fact that I got these to work the way I did. And I also have, like, sound on everything, so as you move around the level, like, you move close to these, you hear the buzzing of the fluorescent lights, and the air moving around, and the dripping of the coffee and the coffee pots in the break room. Storage room with the floor ripped up for some reason. Lecture halls, stuff like that. Areas where the floor has, like, given out. And then stuff down there. Scary hallway with red back there. Some nice robotics labs, stuff like that. You actually go down there. Break room's in here, basically. You go down here, you go down an elevator, and then there's some witty dialogue, which I'm not going to spoil. And basically you end up falling down to this hole, and you have to go through this room in here, through the office, and then through the lecture hall down here. And yes, for sure, definitely going to be a ton of Easter eggs in there. I'm going to put a ton of actual references in the actual dialogue. I'm talking with the writers, although I'm not actually writing the game. Yeah, I have all the internet references in there, basically. I have Rickroll references, I have LeetSpeak references, I have Tumblr references, Reddit references, everything. I'm going for it all. Because I want this game to actually be entertaining as well as teaching you stuff, basically. And as you can see, as I went from the start to the levels I'm still working on, you can see how much less polished it is. Like, that doesn't look nearly as good as that. But, you know, work in progress. What was I working on? What was I working on? Oh yeah, I need to put chairs in the professor's office. I'm just gonna steal one from the break room. Okay. Chair in generally the right location. Make it a tad bigger. There you go. Ooh, you know what would be cool with this? Rigid body. Yes, there's a rigid body on this. So when you walk through here, you can knock over the chair. I'm gonna put a rigid body on all of these models that I just modeled so that you can basically walk all over the place and it'll just kind of go in places. I don't know. Yeah. Alright, so how I did this is, up here, this whole pile of everything, these objects, used to be up here, but I want to block off both this hallway and this hallway, so instead of just doing this twice, which would be kind of cliche, I made it so it fell through the floor, so that there's a reason for it to happen twice. I find that's what makes levels really realistic, is having like a story behind them, being able to like tell the whole story of how it happened. It might be a little bit more subconscious to some of the other players, but it makes it seem just a lot more actual realistic when you play the game. I think I'm also going to duplicate these stairs and make them so you can actually get up on them, because this is supposed to be a lecture hall where you can sit down. And right now, this is some pretty major stadium seating. Close enough. There we go. That's much, much better. Alright, and then this is the actual room that you can see from here. So, yeah. Alright, so one thing I do have to worry about is what am I going to put in the walls here. I don't want too much empty space because, you know, this repetition kind of makes the game look fake, even though it's obviously fake, but I want to make it as realistic as possible, so I don't know what I can put there, really. I mean, maybe I can get away with putting some sound dampening pads, because those are generally in large concrete rooms, you know. Oh yeah, the blur effect on the windows is actually something I'm kind of worried about, because while it looks really nice, like it's the exact effect I'm going for, it's the it's a Gaussian blur, which takes a lot of computational power, and I'm using it on every window in here, so it pretty badly needs some optimization, and I'm not that far into the level yet. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But for right here, I don't know if I can maybe get away with putting some sound dampening pads there, because people might not. I mean, that's kind of an object that you're not generally used to seeing in most rooms, so most people might not know what it is. It might just be a box to most people. So I kind of need something that's a little bit more easy to recognize to put in this area. I don't know, maybe some speakers, or... Actually, you know what I could put there is a whole lighting setup. Because this is technically a stage, so it would need that. I guess. Yeah, I was thinking about a speaker, but I don't know, this is a lecture hall, not like a performance hall, so I don't think there'd be a speaker in this kind of space. Ooh, yes, a projector, that's a really good idea. Yeah, because I was actually going to use the default Unity projector for that, but Unity projectors work really, really weird. I could also do a logo, but I don't think this would be the right place for it. Just in the middle of a theater. You know, like if you go to like a high school theater, you don't see their logo, even, you know, in a high school theater, you don't see their logo like right there. There we go. I'm just making some stairs up what we think. There we go, I think that's good enough. Move those two back just a tad. Waldo sitting down on the stairs. Why would I do that? That's copyrighted. Can't do that. I'm only doing subtle copyright infringement, like the graphical style of Portal, pretty much. I don't know. Also, I really need to fix this projector here, because if you see the actual this is a mesh. The projection, in air quotes, is a mesh, because the Unity projectors do not work the way you'd expect them to. The things on the walls are actually room numbers. There's one in every room, so the letter refers to the actual